Hello, dear partners and colleagues. My name is Pavel, and I am a sales manager at Passat Innovations. We are the Belarusian company, and yes, thank you for your time and attention to our webinar. First of all, tell us please if you hear us well. Send in a chat if everything is okay. And if you have any questions, you can write in the chat, and we will answer them earlier. Our company is a Belarusian company. We are the resident of a high-tech park of Republic of Belarus. We are also a member of private holding Passat that more than 25, almost 30 years worked with mining companies with different from different countries. Also, this presentation also presents our developer Vladislav Savina. Our company has four main directions of development. We have belt optical scales. We have also solutions for automatization of the mining conveyors. We have the solution to transfer data transferring up to 10 kilometers without mobile connection. And also we have the solution for mining companies. It's a sludge system. It has accelerometers that also was produced by our company. And this system helps mining companies to understand, to see the condition of the mine shaft in real time. So after the development of the accelerometer, we start the development of vibration and temperature sensor, VTS 3D. It is a 3-axis digital sensor. As you know, there are a lot of types of vibration sensors. The most popular in our countries and also in Europe and other countries, it is a piezoelectronic sensor with analog output. But we find out the advantages and perspectives of MEMS technology, microelectronic systems. Yeah. So our sensor is a MEMS sensor. Which advantages? I think Vladislav will tell you more.
Okay. So, good day everyone. My name is Vladislav and I'm embedded software engineer at Passat Innovation. So let's not waste time and start with benefits of the VTS 3D. And the first benefit of our sensor is noise immunity. Yes, because our sensor is digital, he is not affected by noise, and the signal you have received, you can be sure that it's accurate and the data is not damaged or something else. Next benefit of our sensor is the length of the connectivity line. VTS 3D may have a connectivity line up to 1200 meters. Plug and play connectivity. Because it is digital, you can easily connect our sensor, for example, into your PLC or PC. All you need to do is to start reading a data, and compared to class of the analog devices, you don't have to connect to converters to like process the data, to to write your own math algorithms and anything like this. Virios 3D is built for industry. We equipped our sensor with the most popular industrial interface, RS485. And Virios 3D supports industrial protocol, messaging protocol, MAN-bus RTU, multi-point interface. Via RS485, you could transmit data not only from single device to device, but also connect multiple devices over one serial line up to 32 devices. Yeah, and we have put self-test feature that checks status of the sensor, and sensor transmits status data to a client. And for example, in our software, you can, if something happened, you will receive a notification just like in a smartphone. Also, last but not least, the sensor supports firmware updates, and we think that it makes our sensor even more unique on the market.
Yes, as Vlad says, we can develop and easily update our sensor. For example, in January we have just 17 parameters. It is 15 parameters. It's a vibration. It means that sensor can take 15 parameters of vibration and 2 parameters of temperature. About vibration, we had 5 parameters in 3 axes. So it was RMS vibration acceleration, RMS vibration velocity, RMS vibration displacement, peak to peak, and peak factor. And this month we have developed and add additional parameter. It is a frequency with maximum amplitude. About temperature parameters, there are the temperature of the casing of the equipment and the temperature of the environment. About technical specification characteristics, our sensor has frequency band for measuring vibration acceleration not towards 5000 Hz. At this frequency we can guarantee the good measuring with the errors that are shown here. Also, our sensor has the degree of protection against dust and moisture. It is IP68. Yes, sensor have a lot of advantages. It can take a lot of parameters, but it has a small the dimensions. It's not more than 3 centimeters. The cable of the sensor up to 2 meters. Also, in set of supply we have platforms, mounting platforms to install the sensor on the equipment. In standard set of supply we have stud fastening platform for to install with the screw, and the magnet platform for faster installing mounting of the sensor on the equipment. It is an additional item. About communications.
Okay. Yes, in the general version, the sensor transmits data over RS485. according to Modbus RTU, but it is also possible to implement the sensor with CAN-open or LoRaWAN interfaces, or protocols, sorry. Okay, let's talk about connection scenarios. Many modern PLC have or supports Modbus protocol like out of the box, and you can easily connect our sensor directly to PLC, or if you don't have such a PLC, you can use, for example, Modbus RTU to Modbus TCP gateway and simply migrate to Ethernet networks.
Yes, you can connect 32 up to 32 devices in one port of the controller without, for example, about Modbus RTU without
any additional devices.
For example, to connect to work with piezoelectronic analog sensors, you should have an additional infrastructure, additional converters, and you can just one sensor connect to one port of controller. And here is also one of the advantages of our sensor.
Yes, and I want to add that we have our own devices that has power. That consume power, or how to say?
What do you mean? Yes, consumption, power consumption.
Yes, from batteries, and we find out that it is great to have digital sensor with, compared to analog competitor. Yes, because you don't need to supply these additional devices that converts data from analog sensors. Yes, and to work with sensors, we build our software. Our software supports Modbus RTU and Modbus TCP protocols. You can configure sensor connection parameters, for example, baud rate or slave ID, or if you talk about TCP connection, you can set your IP address and etc. So also you can view the data.
Yeah, this software is free. We will download it on our website. So when somebody buy our sensor, he can download from our website this software and configure it, can work with the sensor. For example, you can also connect not only with PLC, you can also work with computer, yes, using the RS485
USB converter.
Yeah, USB converter, yeah. So,
and I think it will be available at the late February, yes?
Yes, this month we will add it on our website. Our sensor was developed in 2021, and we made a market research to see our competitors, and we find out the competitor from USA. We bought the sensor and make our own test with our vibration stand. So to compare the results of the measuring of these two sensors. On this slide you can see the red line is an results of measuring by American-made sensor, and the blue line is the result of measuring of our sensor. The vertical axis is errors. The horizontal axis is frequency bands. So as you can see on this slide, the red line is close to 100% on 1 kilohertz, but the manufacturer of this sensor guarantees that this sensor can work up to 4 kilohertz. But at 1 kilohertz it has a lot of errors in measuring. So this our sensor can be used to, you can install it on the pumps, motors, vents, and different other equipment. For example, one of our end customer installed these sensors on the conveyor. It is a long distance conveyor up to 11 kilometers, more than 11 kilometers. Up to. To monitor the condition of these conveyor parts, specialist of end customer goes around this conveyor and listen and look at the condition.
Every day.
Yes, every day. It's a waste of time, a waste of money, a waste of human resources. We provide testings at that moment for 6 sensors on this test, and we collect the data from 6 sensors and transmit the data to the company using our wireless communication device. In the company, they get this information and process it by our software. At that moment, we developing our vibration monitoring system, and in this slide you can see some results. Every day we add additional functions, and here you can see some results. For example, at the first part of this graphs, you can see a high peak. So it was at the beginning of our such project. We collect the data from the sensor with the frequency 1 time per 10 seconds. Then we change the configuration to collect the data 1 time per 1 second. The second half of the graphic shows more informative results. Also, we add the moving average parameter. It means you can see the level, the average level of the measuring parameters. So using this information, our end customer compare the data from our system with the data from their system of the load of the productivity of the conveyor, and can see the levels of at which each rack of the conveyor is working to. So this system help our end customer to find the racks with bad conditions, not to send specialists along this conveyor, just sitting from the room and send specialists to the exact rack. As I said, to transmit the data, we use our radio communication module. The sensors are installed at 2 kilometers from the company, from the enterprise. So our device called as PI-Tract help to transmit the data up to 2 kilometers without cables and mobile connection. about perspectives of the development of our sensor. In the nearest future, we will finish the wireless version, and it will use LoRaWAN technology to transmit the data, and also it will have the power supply from batteries. Our aim is to make the lifetime of the batteries of the sensor of the batteries up to 2 years.
I would say no less than 2 years.
Yes. And the next step that is also in process is explosion-proof design, to use our sensor in the oil and gas productions and some minings and so on. And the next, the final maybe step is to produce an industrial equipment monitoring system that can not only show the graphic and diagram, but can tell to the customer that this equipment, this node has some problems. For example, a bearing wear or casing cracks and so on. So it will be like a stationary vibration diagnostic system. It will be not a cloud, it will be a local system with its servers and so on. We think that this design of the system more perspective and have more advantages than cloud systems. This is the end of my presentation, of our presentation. If you have any questions, please write down on the chat, and we will be
try to answer them.
Yeah, we are ready. We are hope to make a partnership with all of you and ready to cooperate.
Okay.
What about certificate of conformity? Yes, at that moment we have an certificate of quality confirmation in our country, Belarus, Russia, Kazakhstan. It's a custom union, and we are in a process of receiving the quality certificate for European countries, CE marking. And in March we will end this process. We will get the certificate. Also, one more issue. If you are interested in this system, you want to get more information, we can make an online meeting, we can connect to the system, and we can show you we can give you more information, we can show the functions that at that moment system can do. Also about the production time, our strategy is to have some sensors on the stock. For example, in February we will end the production of of the parts, the set of sensors, and the next set will be ready on April. So, if there are no any questions, thanks for your attention, thanks for your time.
Thanks so much.
Yes. If you have any questions, write on my email, and